Hi, this is Frida. Welcome to my channel. And today's tutorial is this lovely stitch that I have knit into 1995, a cardigan for my father. And I ended up doing a sample, which I kept all these years. So I just wanted to demonstrate how to knit this lovely stitch. There are a similar stitch to this, but they're tinier. So this can be knit on baby blankets, like a tiny version of this pattern. So you can knit this for cardigans, sweaters, aran sweaters. It would look lovely on a wool yarn. And you can knit for baby blankets. So what you need to do is, I'm just going to do a demonstration how to knit the stitch. So it's about 8 inches. You need to cast on total of 40 stitches for a dishcloth. If you want to cast on more for a baby blanket, you can do so. And the yarn that I'm knitting is cotton yarn. So I'm just following what to use the needle size on the label that it says on the back of it. So just follow your instructions on which yarn you prefer, and we'll go from there. So let's get started. Cast on total of 40 stitches if you're going to be knitting a dishcloth. Okay, so I grabbed this yarn in my stash. It's 100% cotton, and it's one of those curly, very super soft cottons that I bought years ago, decades ago maybe, who knows. It's in my stash. So I'm going to make a dishcloth using this yarn. Okay, so what you did is you cast on total of 40 stitches as I counted here, but the pattern is multiple of 14 stitches. So each of these are 14 stitches. So 14, 14, 14, but I cast on 40. If you want to cast on 2 more, you are welcome. So what I did is I started the pattern right away. I didn't do the ridge, like 2 knit 2 purl, or 1 knit 1 purl, or just a purl on 2 sides to make the border or the ridge. If you want to make a baby blanket, you can do that by knitting ribs, or either which you would prefer. But this is a dishcloth, so I'm going to start right away. And to start this pattern stitch, you need to knit 2 ridges, purl ridges. So what I did is I knit a total of 2. This is the right side of the work, and when you turn your work the wrong side, you will see 3 ridges here, 3 purl. Okay, so what I did is, this is how you start the stitch. You do, well, here I have 12, but if you wanted to do 14, you do 2 knit 2 purl, 2 knit 2 purl, 14. But I have 2 knit 2 purl, 2 knit 2 purl, 2 knit 2 purl, so I have 2 stitches missing for 40 stitches. If you want to add 2 more, 42, then you will have 2 knit 2 purl, 2 knit 2 purl, 2 knit 2 purl, 2 knit 2 purl, 14 stitches. And then so this part is done here. So this part, now we're going to do the middle. To do the middle, we already did the 2 ridges here, right? 2 purl rows. So here what we're going to do is we're going to knit total of 14 stitches, just a knit stitch, yarn on the back, just like this. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so this part is done. I just wanted to, I counted before. I haven't knit this stitch years, decades, almost 2 decades. Okay, well, over 2 decades. Yeah, 95 I knitted the sweater, and I did the swatch just to save the pattern. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 knit, yarn on the front, 2 purl, yarn on the back, 2 knit, total of 14 stitches, 2 knit 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, and then 2 purl. So we're done the right side of the work. Now we're going to turn our work and we're going to do the opposite. What you see is what you do, right? So just to, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 knit, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 2 knit, 10, 2 purl, 2 knit, so again 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, so what we're going to do is we did a knit stitch here, and here we're just gonna do a purl stitch. So what you see is what you do. Let's say it that way, and then so you just knit yarn on the front, just like this. Until you have 14 stitches. You knit all the way. Well, you can see what you have. See here, oh, here we start the knit stitch, so it's the opposite. Oops, I went up, sorry. So knit, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl. So this is how we start the stitch. To start the stitch, so 2 knit, 2, and then 2 purl. So we're done the wrong side of the work. So this is all to it. So continue knitting like this for a couple of rows. I would say knit about, if you look at this, you will see. So we're going to change here the stitch. So I would say knit, well, this is the wrong side of the work, this is the right side. So knit about, so we did this part, we're here now. So knit 2, 4, 6 more rows, and I will meet you here. So we continue knitting this and we change here, this stitch. So continue knitting all the way here, and I'll meet you back. I forgot to mention, when we did the 2 knit here, we did the purl on the back. So when you do 2 rows, we knit 2 purls. And then when you go to the back, you do knits to create the purl here. And then you knit 2, well, you knit here and you do purl. So it's the opposite of each row to create the 2 rows on the front. So I just wanted to point that out before I let you go, because I started knitting. And I noticed I forgot to tell you. So when you just do the knit 2 purl here, doesn't matter for this part, but in the middle so I change it to the purl, and when I turn my back I do the knit on, so I'll have 2 rows of purl showing on the back. Yeah, okay. So continue knitting and I will meet you back here to change the stitch. Okay, so I have knit all the way here. Now we're going to change. So as you can see, there's 2 purl stitches, 2 knit between 2 purl stitches. It's hard to see the knit stitches because of the purl stitches, it gives the bump. But it looks like a nice stitch, doesn't it? I just love this stitch for I'm going to knit my son a sweater out of this stitch. But first I have to finish the one that I'm knitting. Remember, I started this stitch. So I'm going to make a tutorial on how to knit this stitch. And I'll start this stitch. There's so many things to knit, endless. I hope I live till I finish all my projects. Well, let's go back to the stitch. So okay, so we're going to change the stitch. So as you can see, there's supposed to be 14 here. Well, mine, I have 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have, I just missed the two, yeah. Anyways, 2 stitches here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the 2 purl stitch, because remember we start with the purl stitch here to give that, so that's how we start. 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit. Total of 14 stitches, 2 purl, 2 knit. So this is how we change the middle. And then 2 purl stitches. So we continue knitting this part, couple, I would say 2, how many more rows? I'm just looking at the stitch here. So 2, total of 4. So 3 more rows and we'll be done. And then we will change that part to this part. 2 knit, 2 purl. 2 rows of knit, 2 rows of purl. So we'll just continue knitting the same way as we did. And on the wrong side, you knit what you see. Nothing to change. So like I said, this is perfect for a baby blanket. If you want to knit a baby blanket, you can knit a baby blanket out of this stitch. I am planning to, but I need to finish a couple of my projects that I have started. They're working in progress, but they're in bags, and I need to finish a couple of them before I start more. Okay, like this yellow one I started years ago. Okay, just wanted to show you. As you can see, this yarn is a little bit thinner than the other burnout yarn that I have. So this is how it looks like so far. So continue knitting 3 more rows, and when we come back, we're going to change this up here to, we're going to knit on the right side, and on the wrong side we're going to do the purl stitch, and then we're going to continue knitting the middle, and then we're going to change here. So knit this row wrong side, and then right side, and then wrong side. So 3 more rows, and I'll meet you how to change the stitch on the beginning. So continue knitting what you see. So here we did 2 knit, 2 purl. So continue knitting like this for 3 more rows, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so I have knit, and I am back to change the stitch. So what we're going to do is, remember how we started here, we're going to do 14 stitches of knit stitch, and then we're going to continue knitting the middle. Knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, 14 stitches. So we're just going to knit these yarn on the back, knit the stitches that we have, and then change it to like this. Just like this. And then the pattern shows itself, so then when you come to the 2 purl, you know that it's the next stitch that you have to knit. So you just continue knitting, just like this. And this is how you knit this stitch. It's a change. You change it every couple of rows, which that is. Let me just finish this row and I'll show you. So 2 purl. Okay. Just continue knit, knit, knit the middle is what we see. Just like this. Two knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl. Okay, so we're done. 2 knit, 2 purl, 14 stitches, and we just do the knit 2, 14 stitches. 8, 10, 12, 14. And then when you turn your back, you just follow it. You just knit what you see. Just like this. Yeah, and then when you turn your work, you did the knit stitch, you do the purl stitch on the back, and then you knit like this. So you do 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, and 2 knit, and then you change again 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 rows like this, and then you change it to 2 knit, 2 purl every stitch. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So again, it's 14 stitches that we knit and 14 rows that we knit on this stitch. And here we have we have a couple of extra that we change to knit the stitch. So you continue knitting this, and then when you change this, you continue knitting the middle. And when you change the middle, you continue knitting the edges. So you always continue knitting this so the rib looks longer compared to the middle. So this is how you knit the stitch. I just love it how it looks like. It gives you that texture and like a 3D look, and you can knit anything you want with this stitch. And I hope this tutorial helped you out how to knit this stitch. It's a very easy and simple stitch. It works with multiple of 14 stitches. And you can add anything on the border if you want. 5, 10 stitches if you want to knit extra. But like I said, you can knit anything you want with this stitch. It's very versatile, and I love how it looks like on the back as well. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial and knit anything you wish with this stitch. And I am going to search, I think I had a diagram. Let me see if I can find that for you, and I will share it. Thank you very much for watching my tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe, like, share it with your family and friends, and enjoy having a great weekend. It's Friday. I try to post every Friday. I try to post new tutorials, either knit or crochet. And happy knitting!